So let us continue with the this table gives you an idea about various maturity indices for selected fruits and vegetable, and as I mentioned before, for each fruit and vegetable the maturity indices are different. So these are some of the examples of fruits and vegetables, and these are the indexes. For example, in case of apples and in case of pears, there are elapsed days from full bloom to the harvest. Okay, there is a elapsed days from full bloom to harvest. For example, in case of peas, apples, mean heat units during the development are different. Okay, I will be discussing them in detail. Cuticle formation in the grape. See, this is the grape, and this grape has this cuticle or skin. This for the immature grapes, you know, this cuticle is very soft, and but in the later stage and the matured grapes, you see this cuticle is developed. So cuticle formation on grapes or cuticle formation on tomato. Some of the like apples, you see this gloss. So if it is not completely mature, you see this gloss is not developed. So in case of matured apple or ripened apple, you see the gloss or glass or wax development on banana. So surface morphology and structure is an indice or in an index for fruit and vegetable harvesting. Then size, as I said, you know, mango. This mango, the size of this mango changes from a chota कैरी से लेके बड़ा सा shape हो जाता है, and then you know you have this shape, you know, changes. So size also changes, shape also changes. Like this banana अभी curved है, तो ये curvedness ज़्यादा मतलब you know बढ़ता जा रहा है. So this is a changing also the shape. Broccoli है, literally you know this is so compact, तो बाद में after some days you know this compactness changes into fluorescence, flowers बन जाता है. तो it also changes, you know, it becomes more you know flowery. Individual these block becomes, you know, turns into flower. So angularity of banana fingers or full chicks of mangoes or compactness of broccoli and cauliflower. In case of solidity, you see lettuce, cabbage or Brussels sprouts, you know, their solidity increases as they get matured. Okay, textural property also changes. Apple, pear and stone fruits. Okay, these are apple, pear and other stone fruits. Firmness increases, their color, internal color changes, external color changes. Peas, in case of peas, the tenderness varies from immature to mature stage, and most of the cases the external color of all fruits and vegetable changes. See, मैंगो ग्रीन है, ग्रीन से ऑरेंज बन जाते हैं, कुछ कुछ येलो बन जाते हैं. ओके, एंड दिस इज लाइक परसिमन्स, इसको अमर फल भी बोला जाता है. इन हिंदी इट इज कॉल्ड एज अमर फल, और इसको इंग्लिश में परसिमॉन्स कहा जाता है. तो आप इसको देखोगे तो इट इज इनिशियली वेरी बिकॉज ऑफ हाई टैनिन कंटेंट, इट टेस्ट वेरी astringent, whereas in case of these dates also, because of the initial, you know, they becomes like a high in tannin and they are so like a astringent taste, but as the moment they get, you know, ripen, they turn into sweeter and sweeter. As I said you, in case of tomato, a jelly like material is formed in the center of the tomato. Flesh color of some fruits changes. Apples and pears, the starch content varies from the immature stage to mature stage. The starch gets converted into sugar. Okay, so sugar content increases. In case of stone fruit, in case of grapes, initially the grapes are sour, but later on they become sweeter. Acid content or sugar to acid ratio also changes. Pomegranates become more sweeter. Citrus, from acid the sugar content increases, so sugar to acid ratio increases. Sugar sweetness increases. Papaya sweetness increases. Melon sweetness increases. Kiwi fruit, initially kiwis are very sour, but later on they becomes sweet. Oil content of avocado increases with the maturity. Okay, so maturity indices are varies from vegetable to vegetables. Like as I said, In case of example, okay, these are few example. Like in case of this broccoli, you have this broccoli, you know, it is very immature. You see, this is very compact. But when it is mature, each of these fluorescence, each of these petiole is, you know, opening up. So this is a mature. So also the green color is turning into, you know, little yellow, and this part is, you know, blooming. And now in this over mature case, you see all of them have turned into flower fluorescence. Okay, so it is like opening. So this is a broccoli. So size is also changing. Florets are closed. Okay, in case of these asparagus, you see, we always want them to be closed. So moment they get opened up, that means, you know, they are matured. Okay, apex is, we always want the apex to be closed. We don't want that apex to be open. So broccoli is another example. Cauliflower, you see, lettuce or iceberger, the denseness is increased, you know, the solidity is increased. You see, firmness, solidity, also the flavor changes, the sweetness changes, bitterness changes. Carrot, initially they are small size and they are big size also. So these are some of the maturity indices. Immature fruit and vegetable, like beans, you see, beans are initial size, their immature one have a very small size, but the moment, you know, they becomes to mature stage, what happens, the seeds grows into them. So seed development takes place. Cucumbers have a small size of the diameter. Color also changes from green to yellow. Also the seed development takes place in case of green, and external color changes for cucumber. Okra, as I give you before example, size and external color changes. Summer squash, you have these flower in some of the areas, you know, flowers are also consumed, but see flower, and then these are highly immature, then little matured, and then these maybe this is, you know, over matured. Okay, so size, shape and external color changes. So mature fruit vegetable example are like peppers, like their size, the color changes, like green turns into red. Also the seed develops, local development, like from, you know, small shape to they become very big. Their stem also shapes, you know, the cork also changes. Tomato, externally they are green, internal color also changes. Development of locules, like jelly, locule is called as a jelly. The firmness also increases or it decreases. If they get ripened up, they become soft. Size changes. Development of cuticle occurs. Winter squash, in case of winter squash, this is a, you know, little immature, this is yellow in color, but the external and internal color, both of them are changing. See, this is the external color, this is the immature, but the moment they get, you know, mature, the corkiness of the stem end also, so this is a very strong, but the moment, you know, this corkiness of the stem end changes as the stage goes from immature to mature. The external color also changes, and internally also you see lot of changes in the color, pulp, softness happening. So there is always a strategy for developing a maturity indices to determine changes in the commodity throughout its development stage. We have seen from the cell to the expansion, to the development, to the ripening, and then there is a decay that is called as a senescence. So to look for a feature, that is size, color, solidity, could changes correlate well with the stages of the commodities development. To use the storage trials and organoleptic assays, test panels to determine the value or level of the maturity index that defines the minimum acceptable maturity, or to test the index over several years and in several growing locations to ensure that it consistently reflects the quality of the harvested products. There are features that are used as the maturity indices, chronological features or types. So therefore they are either called as a chronological features, or they could be also like called as a types of maturity indices. So based on age related, like number of days from the planting of maturity, They could be, so for example, in case of these radishes, okay, tuber category. So they such as radish and perennial tree crops growing in the short summer environment. So maturity can be defined as a chronologically, like whether it is 10 days. Methi, in case of, methi leaves also, if it is like 10 days methi, 15 days methi, like that, likewise, okay. As days from planting or as days from the flowering. So in case of mango or pear, days from full bloom to harvest, like apple, full bloom from flowers to, a ripening stage. So they count the days and they remember these days. Okay, in case of pear, in case of apple, days from full bloom are considered, and whereas in the some of the leafy vegetable and tubers, the number of days from the planting to maturity. Like 10 दिन का मेथी है तो बहुत ही उसके leaves अच्छे हो जाएंगे, या 20 दिन का है तो बहुत ही mature हो जाएंगे, धनिया के पत्ते. So it is like that. Okay, so these are the features that are used as the maturity indices for the chronological order. So chronological indices are seldom perfect, but they do permit a degree of planning, and they are very, very widely used. For some crops, the chronological method is refined by calculating the heat units accumulated during the growing period, which modulates the chronological index according to the weather pattern during the growing season. So what are the maturity indices? They are the sign, or they are the indications of the readiness of the plant for a harvest. So there are subjective on the basis of days, on the basis of, maturity, like physiological, commercial. Also maturity indices are classified into subjective and objective. Subjective, they use it just senses like appearance, touch, smell, resonance, sweetness. Objective means they are measurable indices like chemical constituent, computational base, or dimensional fullness of the finger. So they are also classified based on their physical properties and chemical properties and nutritional properties. So physical properties means size, shape, uh, surface characteristics, external and internal color, abscission, a texture, and likewise. So for example, size and shape. So these potatoes could be harvested at a very, very, small stage of harvesting. They could be harvested at a very small stage, or they could be harvested at a very big stage. So changes, there is a lot of changes in the size, also changes in the shape. So small one and the big one, and their TSS will also change. Shape, okay, or size. So this is very mature, but then, its shape is changing. It is becoming, the curve is changing, and then almost these are like legumes, okay, oil seeds or pulses. So commonly used as a maturity indices. Vegetable in particular are harvested when they have reached a marketable size before they become too large. So these are like immatured green beans, okay, or these are the potato which are like you want to consume them, otherwise they will, start sprouting. Shape, so apple shape, banana fruits or apple, they have some shapes. Okay, so these are like, very, very immature cucumber, they have some specific shape, but after, maturity stage, their shape is changing. Example, banana also, like initially the banana shape is like this, and then when they get matured, the shape changes. So 3/4 full, full 3/4, and round full. In case of cucumber also, the shape changes. So one should keep that in mind, that in case of banana, see, raw banana has a more angle, and then when it becomes like full, dense, the angle changes. Okay. Maturity in banana is determined by measuring the diameter of the finger. So this is, 3/4, large, full 3/4, a full quarter, and this is the almost full. So from here the diameter is less, it is like increased, and then this is the full diameter that is obtained. Changes in the surface gloss. So these are honeydew melons or musk melon. Okay, so what is happening? Surface gloss, do you see? This is like a very, very soft, very, very soft. The shape is also changing, and the gloss is also changing. Little, rough it is becoming. Then there are grooves that are developed, and the shape is also becoming more round, and there are more grooves. Okay, so initially there is a, the skin is soft. So this is like a skin is soft. If you cut them inside, it will, you will find these. Then this is becoming red, and with this skin you will find this, and if you break this will be, oh, like almost override. Some of the squashes also from the surface, okay, gloss or the feel or the waxiness, that could be used as a judgment or a practical tool in harvesting of some of the melons as a honeydew melons. Okay, solidity. So this is the iceberg or lettuce. So this it changes. This is the immature, little mature. You see, solidity is increasing. It is becoming more solid, more compact. The shape is also, so this is like texture is also changing. If you have more texture, that means it is very immature, more water, but it is more dense, more compact, more solid. Okay, so solidity, very good example is your head lettuce and cabbages are harvested on the basis of solidity of the head. External and internal color, the color changes that accompanies maturation in many fruits is widely used as a maturity index. Look at this pineapple. Okay, this is too green, so this greenness is this disappeared, slight green, maybe 30%, almost more than 60%, and then this is more than 90%. So objective measurement of color requires expensive equipment, external color or internal color. Although the human eye is unable to give a very good evaluation of a single, and that comes with the skill, okay, of a single color, it is extremely sensitive to differentiate between colors. So color comparison techniques are therefore commonly consumed to assess the fruit maturity. So color swatches may be used to determine external or internal color. So this is a machine wherein you can measure the color of fruits and vegetable, but this machine is a hand holding machine, not very expensive, which can be also taken to the farm, and very easily this color can be compared. So color comparison techniques are therefore very commonly used to assess fruit maturity. Although in India this is a very expensive, and farmers are not even able to afford this small equipment or instrument, so they just go with this inexpensive equipment, that is the eyes and the skill.